So, I just got a Windows 7 virtual machine, and whenever I change from Windows 7 Basic to this theme, the task the taskbar and buttons don't change. And here's proof that the taskbar and buttons don't change when I go on the other themes. Okay, this is the Fruit Ninja one. That's the architecture one. That's the characters one. That's the landscape one. This is the nature one. That's the scenes. And this is the United States theme. The basic and high contrast themes work, but not the Aero themes. Does anybody know how to fix this? Let me know in the comments below.
So, it's been 5 generations of Windows since 2001, each release possessing its own exciting and new features. Most of the time. But aside from features, how well does each actually run? How is performance impacted over each release of Windows? So here are the versions we're looking at. Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8.1, and the latest version of Windows 10 at the time of this recording. All of these are running Pro editions, and XP is the only one running a 32-bit version, mostly because that's the version that was used the most. They're all fully updated, and if you're interested in the specs, here they are. it really shouldn't matter because all of them are running on the same hardware anyways. So beginning with the startup tests, now it's important to note that I tried to do everything as close to accurate as possible in the editing. This includes opening programs at the same time, starting up at the same time, and all that stuff. I really want to get the best results, but remember, nothing is exactly perfect. Now, Windows 10 and 8.1 actually have a technology called Fast Boot, while Windows XP has the advantage of just using less hardware resources. I don't think Windows 7 or Vista have like any advantage for starting up, but still, Windows 8.1 actually started up first. This is mostly because Windows 8.1 comes with less bloatware. It still comes with bloatware, but it comes with less bloatware than Windows 10, so that kind of makes sense. But after that, we have Windows 10, and literally milliseconds later, we have Windows XP, followed by Windows Vista a couple of seconds later. And then a long time afterwards, we have Windows 7. So that's pretty interesting. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's more 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Now, before testing programs, I really want to check the storage. So as you can see, Windows XP actually takes up the least amount of storage, while Windows Vista and 7 actually take up the most amount of storage. This could be because of the abundance of security updates, but I applied these updates to Windows 8.1 and 10 as well, which I don't really understand. So starting off with built-in programs, I really want to see the speed of File Explorer, and as you can see, they were all pretty fast, but Windows 8.1 was the first to load, and results are pretty varied here. Moving on to Notepad, this is probably like the least intensive application in Windows, but as you can see, XP was the first to load, probably due to the lack of animation. But again, strangely enough, there are varied results here. There's probably a percentage error somewhere around here. But these are really low-end applications, so I'm not really that surprised that these applications are running. There isn't like consistent results here, but as you can see, Calculator actually loaded up at the exact same time on every single one except for Windows 8.1, and that's really weird considering that Windows 8.1 was pretty much winning every other test before this. So that's pretty strange. Moving on to Paint, again, there really isn't any real answer here. All the results are pretty varied. It's really weird that XP and Vista loaded up at the same exact time. But we probably use Windows for more than built-in programs, and that's media consumption. So opening a photo using their default photo viewer, so as you can see, was pretty much straight down the line. I forgot to run this test on Windows 8.1 because of course I did, but we can basically assume that it would have been second last. Then moving on to opening a video using VLC Media Player. Strangely enough, Windows 7, this was the first time it came first in a test. Then it was Windows 10, then XP, then 8.1, and then Vista. So strangely enough, these results are also varied. And also, I decided to use a variety of applications. Some of them are using same versions, some of them are using different versions. So I decided to use Windows Media Player to open this video file. And Windows XP and Vista doesn't even support the proper codecs for MP4 files. But as you can see, results are pretty similar. Moving on to web browsers, I really want to check the installation speed of Firefox 52.9 ESR in every single one of these. Of course, this is mostly dependent on my hands and reaction time, but I tried to do it as accurately as possible, as I said before. And the reason why we're using Firefox 52.9